Dr. Chiefy, as long as you don't have carbs, it's okay to eat even in the middle of the night. Would you agree? No. It's a circadian rhythm thing. I don't advise people eating in the middle of the night. Now, obviously, if people, I don't, even when I travel, I do not eat. Like when I fast when I go on trips. And the moment I get into that country, whatever country it is, if it's, I usually, the moment I leave on the plane, I work out the hours and exactly what time over those hours. So let's say it's a trip that takes 8 hours, okay? And I know, or let's say, yeah, let's say just 8 hours. And there's going to be about 2 hours difference or 3 hours difference in the past. Well, I will shift that time, I will change my time to the local time of the destination. And then I will do everything according to that. I will fast, I will sleep at the times. If it's night there, I'll sleep on the plane if it's night there for those hours. So if it's, I don't care what other people are doing, I'll just put blockers and I'll sleep. When I get there, I'm in sync circadian wise with that environment. If I get there in the evening, I go straight to bed, wake up in the morning and get on with life in the normal, like everyone else in that time zone. And I find that syncs me much better, and better when you don't eat anything, when you fast in that travel period as you're changing time zones. I find that I can adjust much quicker, So, and most airlines now actually charge you for their crap food anyway, so why bother is my approach. I don't think it's a good idea because the whole purpose is after in the evening, your cortisol levels need to normalize down. Your digestion needs to slow down so your melatonin can rise so you can get good sleep. If you're basically eating very late at night, you're going to be causing sleep disturbances and stuff like that. I've actually also said to people that actually are night shift workers that work in the evening to only eat in daytime within the circadian rhythms. Because our ancestors, there were like half of the population have got like night genes. They can cope very well staying up late. They used to be the guards for the tribe. And so we do have those genetics. So don't get me wrong. But they didn't eat at night. They just stayed up, keeping an eye whether there were any tigers or lions or whatever around. Got it? They had eaten earlier, and then they rested in that early hours of the day, and they didn't go for the hunt. They would go maybe a couple of days later. So that's how they operated. I don't believe in eating at night, and most people that actually that are night shift workers that don't eat a lot, fast right through. They eat in the daytime, and then at night they just fast right through the night. They may have some like salt water or something like that, and they fast right through. They get to the morning, they sleep until midday. They wake up, they have their meal, and then they go to work in the evening. And I know every person that's been a night shift worker that's actually done that I've actually recommended, they have seen big improvements in their health markers. So now that's a lot of N of ones, but that's my own subscribers that have made those changes and all that. So I don't believe in eating in the evening, and neither does Bart. We both view it as ancestrally. Our ancestors would go out and hunt in the midday. They would bring back the food. They would eat it in the mid-afternoon. They would gorge on it. And then they would basically sit around the campfire. And this is how we live for most of the time. I think we're more adapted to that. We didn't eat in the morning. When we woke up, cortisol rises. You don't want to rise insulin at the same time. It's very unhealthy. And so that cortisol rise, and because if insulin rises, it actually locks out free fatty acids. That means that energy you need for the whole day. So when that cortisol rises, it actually increases gluconeogenesis. So that morning dawn effect of extra glucose. It also releases more free fatty acids, so it gets more energy into the system. And that's how the body's supposed to work. You go out, you hunt, you get something in midday, as midday persistent hunters, then you may have a bit of, the blood and, as an electrolyte, you may have a bit of those fluids. You may cut a bit of the liver and hand it out to, and have a bit of raw liver. So as a multivitamin, they may not, somebody may not feel like, maybe next time, they don't eat excessive amount of organ meats, just small amounts as a multivitamin. And then they take the rest back and cook it and share it amongst the tribe, and they feast on it. And that's when they have that big bolus of food, which they'll knock themselves out of ketosis. They'll, spike that insulin from the protein, but it will only be a spike, come back down to normal rates and still not suppress glycolysis or gluconeogenesis, and they will function properly. And that's how they're supposed to. So I don't, think it's okay to eat in the middle of the night. I don't agree with it. I think it's out of circadian rhythms. It's a circadian mismatch. Simple as that. And I've noticed with nighttime shift workers, they do much better by eating in daytime, like our ancestors. So that's my call on that. Now, he may have personal N-of-1 experiences, but then again, I don't know what it is. I haven't spoken to him, so I don't really know what is the basis of it. Now, obviously, not having carbs is going to be way less deleterious because you're not actually inflaming yourself. So it's going to be less deleterious. And if it tends to be much lighter in protein and much more in like fat, well, you're releasing free fatty acids all the time. It just means that you're not going to release them from your body that you've stored, and you're just going to take them in a form. So why bother? You know what I mean? Because your digestive capacity for basically protein has gone down, because when melatonin goes up, that goes down. It's just simple as that. So look, don't ask me. I don't know what he does. I've found that most people that do night shift actually do better by fasting through the night or time restricted feeding through the night. They get better results and they're more energized, and they don't feel sluggish or anything. They feel much better, and they can sleep much easier in the morning. And when they get up, they've got a good appetite, which is what you want in that time restricted feeding window of the midday when they get up to the early afternoon before they go onto their shift to get that, so anyway, that's my opinion. And the experience of some of my subscribers have borne that out. They feel much better, less stressed, and have felt much happier approaching their eating in that regard for night shift.